Today we're talking about Microsoft, and I was really excited for this one. Even months before the conference, Microsoft was already spouting about how this was going to be the greatest lineup in Xbox history. And you know what? They may be right. But confusingly, Microsoft left most of the actual showing of the games off to the show floor. Instead, they opted to show us a bunch of tiny clips of games to try and get us excited, which I think is the wrong approach to this. But don't take my rambling for it. Let's get right into it. Microsoft began, as ever, with Halo, Xbox's flagship series. It's hard to imagine a world without Master Chief, but if new protagonist Locke has anything to say about it, we might just see that world yet. You're doing double duty this time around, playing both as Master Chief and the man hunting him down, a new character called Spartan Locke. The plot sounds super interesting, with the gameplay demo shown featuring the return of the Arbiter, yay, and a trip to the Covenant capital city planet thing. It also featured the introduction of some expanded universe Halo characters, for the first time featuring Fred and Kelly, some Spartans from Master Chief's old days, and also the return of Nathan Fillion as Buck, who has since ODST become a Spartan! Yes! Yes! It has some new features like the ability to give squad commands and a few tweaks to the armor abilities, but other than that, it basically looks like a more polished version of Halo 4. If that's a bad thing, you're probably not going to like this. If it's a good thing, go ahead and pre-order this coming out later this year. They then showed us a glimpse of a new type of multiplayer called Warzone, which not only bumps up the player count to 24, but adds in Covenant AI to the mix, and also promises to have maps 4 times the size of any maps in any previous Halo, which, I don't know if you remember, those invasion maps in Reach were pretty damn big. I don't know about you guys, but as a fanboy, it's already got my money. Next they showed us Recore. Oh boy. A cutscene. Nothing fires me up for gameplay more than not showing me anything about it! Ugh. At least it's got this bland desert environment going for her, right? I mean, she's fighting robots, and the good robot's blue, and she can stick its blue ball in other robots and make them good, I guess? I don't know. Blue balls. Blue balls! Next came the surprise of the century, as they announced that the Xbox One will soon have backwards compatibility. Now ordinarily this wouldn't excite me, as it should have been a no-brainer from the get-go, but they somehow managed to work in Xbox One features, such as screenshots, streaming, and recording. The only issue I have with this is that due to legal issues, Microsoft has to wait for the publishers of these games to greenlight the process, which means that compatibility updates will be released over time, and some games may never be released at all, especially due to all of the meltdowns and explosions and closures that happened over this last console generation. Next up, Microsoft decided to whip out an iPad, and by that I mean a useless way to spend lots of money. Are you unhappy with your controller? Have you ever wanted to customize the triggers, analog sticks, or face buttons? Have you ever wanted to put fast mapping switches on the back? Well, you, sir or madam, take competing way too seriously, and that'll be $150. No, really. That's how much this thing costs. Next! Oh my god, it's Todd Howard! Oh my god, oh my god! Wait, what are you doing here? Well, he's here to show off Fallout 4 some more, and it's mostly the same pitch at first, but then he wanders off into a standoff with some bandits. And there's laser muskets. Wait, laser muskets? I can pretend it's the colonial era and the future? Sign me up. He also announced mod support for the One, which is a bit misleading since it will also be for the PS4, and Microsoft's playing sneaky dirty poop ball here. It's a real sport. Look it up! EA will be all over it next year. As a final treat, they announced that due to backwards compatibility, Fallout 3 will be included with pre-orders of Fallout 4. So, if you've never tried the series, now's a great time to dive in. Welcome home. EA Access! Want some EA games slightly cheaper and a bunch of old games that they're eager to drop support for free? Well, just tack a small monthly fee onto your already pretty hefty Xbox Live bill. Or just get PS Plus and, you know, get your money's worth. The audience response says it all. No one cares. Go home, EA. You're drunk. Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 2. If you've never played the first one, I highly recommend it. It's the perfect blend of smooth, fun, balanced gameplay, and utter nonsense. Just complete rubbish of the best kind. There is an orange flying through the air with sunglasses on, winking at me, and corn with minigun hands, walking around fighting an army of the undead. I don't even care that this is just a cutscene for once. I am in love. Moving right along, I must admit I was thinking to myself, man, we've gone a whole 5 minutes without a confusing out-of-place guest showing up. But don't worry, they fixed that, and they fixed it good. They brought out Henry Ford to show off the new Forza. And no, not that Henry Ford. No, not that one either. Yes, that Henry Ford. They spouted some partnership nonsense that probably made ad execs cream their pants, and then they showed off a lovely cutscene and some approximations of gameplay. I mean, like all Forzas, it's basically just car porn. But if I had to choose, this is probably the best car porn. Also, there was real car porn. Dark Souls 3, here's the trailer. Want to know more? Fuck you, here's Tom Clancy.
We were always told it might come to this.
I don't know what it is about The Division, but just nothing I see gets me excited for it. I don't know, maybe it's the boring color palette, but whenever I look at it, all I see is another urban shooter, but without the soul of Ghost Recon or Splinter Cell. If you see the appeal of this game, please write into me and tell me what makes it special. Until then, it's a game, I guess. However, on the flip side of that is Rainbow Six Siege, the next entry in the epic hit-and-miss saga that is Rainbow Six. And I am extremely excited for this game. There are indestructible environments, it looks crisp, it looks clean, it looks like it flows well, there's an emphasis on teamwork and tactics, there are a bunch of cool gadgets. It looks like Rainbow Six may finally have an entry capable of standing in the same room as Counter-Strike, and one owners get free copies of Rainbow Six Vegas 1 and 2 to go along with it. It was at this point that the conference took a little turn into Uncharted territory. No, not that Uncharted, silly! Sony came later! They showed us this game gigantic. It looks silly and colorful and cartoony and I don't know what the fuck. No, really, what the hell is going on in this game? Is it a MOBA? Is it a hack and slash? Seriously, what the fuck is this? I mean, it looks exciting, and I hope to see something a little more informative and a little less Kubrick from it in the future. Then Microsoft really tried to lose me. They showed off an indie sizzle reel, and although most of the games looked fantastic, it all blazed by so quickly that you couldn't really appreciate any of it. Whoa, that looks cool! Oh, it's gone. Microsoft, you want to sell me something? Don't do that! I want to see that! Show me that! But luckily, Microsoft pumped the brakes a little and allowed us a closer look at some of these titles. First up was Tacoma. It's another one of those, you're presented with nothing and you have to learn the story by exploring and whatnot. I mean, it could be good, it could be bad. These games always hinge on the writing, or the implication of writing. I got a very Stanley Parable-esque feel from it.
Oh, we're entering a new dimension. Oh, God, no.
Thanks, Adam. Ashen's a game. What's it about? I don't know. That guy just got stabbed. There was a fuzzy whale in the sky. What is this? Is this a puzzler? That guy mentioned combat. What am I looking at? Moving right along. Beyond Eyes is a game that seems awfully artistic for a game about being blind. Do you want to give me a game about blindness? Well, make a game that blind people can play. When they wanted to make a movie centered around deafness as a concept, they made The Tribe, a movie without any spoken dialogue. A game with misleading sounds, and oil painting for a setting, and a visual bubble around you representing an approximation of the world in your head is not exactly what I would like to see from a game like this. Maybe I'm being overly critical, and I'm willing to give this game a shot, but I am not sold on it from what I have seen so far. Next up is Cuphead, and this one looks like a rollicking good time. It's a combat platformer set with a 1930s cartoon theme. It's bullet hell and a fever dream set in a Tim and Eric doodle. I am super excited to give this one a shot. And I can tell already from the trailer that this one is not for the faint of heart. Metal Slug veterans, you're gonna be fine. Newcomers probably want to give this a pass. After the indie showcase, Microsoft decided to unveil a new feature, the Xbox Game Preview Program. Essentially, this is like Steam Early Access, where you can help fund a game's development and play early build versions of the game and help provide the necessary feedback and play testing to help a game reach full product. I have very mixed feelings about this sort of thing. We've come to a point in time where apparently betas are a necessary evil. Simple playtesting doesn't seem to be good enough anymore. Fine, I'll accept that. But I like to be surprised by games, and to see them in such early builds or to play them piecemeal as they're constructed often ruins that experience that playing a game that's complete and that you've never played or even seen before can bring. On the other hand, I understand that this has allowed a rise of developers that ordinarily wouldn't be able to fund these things to get the necessary funding and the playtesting and the feedback and the support that they need to bring their products to life. It's a hit and miss, case-by-case basis. The important thing that I can't stress enough is to know what you're signing up for if you choose to participate in a program like this. Too often I see people join up with a game in early alpha, watch as all the updates roll in, and then are underwhelmed when the final product isn't filled to the brim with surprises and features that they've never seen before. Well, duh! You decided to skip all that! In equal measure is the opposite, where people buy in and are outraged that something in alpha build isn't a AAA full-fledged experience yet. It's a delicate balance, folks. And that's why I will probably always be the one who prefers to wait for a full product release. Or, you know, a good old-fashioned demo. Or as console gamers are laughably used to calling them, betas. Now that that rant's over, Dean Hall showed up and he had this to say.
I want a game that is not a game.
I want you to get the fuck out. Dean Hall is most known for creating DayZ, which those who know me will know that that is one of my least favorite experiences of all time, so needless to say, I wasn't exactly excited for what he was selling. His new game, Ion, seems to share the same survival principles as DayZ, only set in space and mixed with the economic principles of EVE Online. However, all we got shown was a cutscene, which was uninformative even by cutscene standards, so we really have no idea anything about this game whatsoever. The conference then returned to the sort of fare you'd expect from this sort of thing, and it started with the new Tomb Raider. Now, I loved the recent reboot, and news of a sequel warmed my heart, but unfortunately there's not much to say about what they showed. We got a quick jump through some scripted sequences and some quick-time events, and then a trailer filled with more scripted sequences and more quick-time events. As much as I'm looking forward to it, and as much as I would give my left leg to hang out with the ever-brilliant Camilla Luddington, I mean, if there's a choice, go with Uncharted. It's undoubtedly going to be better. Rare then took to the stage to announce the Rare Replay Pack, a collection of 30 Rare games for $30 to celebrate 30 years in the business. And for those of you who know Rare, you know that this is essentially the Ark of the Covenant for gamers. If you have never played Banjo-Kazooie, Conker's Bad Fur Day, or Perfect Dark, this is an absolute must-buy. Words cannot express the good this collection of games represents. Now, for legal reasons, we probably won't see Donkey Kong Country or GoldenEye. But even with those left out, this is a walk through video game history that you do not want to miss. Rare wasn't done yet, though. They then unveiled their newest project, Sea of Thieves. Now, this game is actually a reimagining of an earlier project, titled Project Dream, that eventually became Banjo-Kazooie. And wow, if it doesn't look brilliant. first-person exploration set on the high seas. It's Minecraft combined with Guns of Icarus, set Assassin's Creed Black Flag, and words cannot describe how excited I am for this game. You can crew a vessel with your friends, you can take the fight to other human-controlled vessels, you can even make people walk the plank! This is my absolutely undisputed pick of the Microsoft conference. We then came to a strangely sour note in the proceedings. Fable Legends is a game that I've been looking forward to for a long time. The best way I can describe it is basically you and 3 friends are playing Fable. However, there is another player essentially fulfilling the role of the director from Left 4 Dead. They spawn in enemies and obstacles and keep you from winning the day. This sort of D&D inspired gameplay is brilliant, and probably why Left 4 Dead, Payday, and Evolved consistently rank at the top of my list. But for a game that we've already seen several gameplay demos of, strangely they decided to show off a cutscene. Admittedly, it's a cutscene narrated by what sounds like Cersei Lannister, but a cutscene nonetheless. Disappointing, Microsoft. Some news rolled in after that. Microsoft announced a partnership with Valve VR, but then also one with Oculus, but then also they have their own HoloLens tech, and you will not believe this HoloLens demo. I mean, there are fucking future Star Wars level Minecraft holograms sitting on a table. Admittedly, the interaction with the game was minimal, but the promise that this technology shows is insane. Imagine Total War on your coffee table or toy soldiers on your living room floor. This tech demo is truly amazing, and if you haven't seen it yet, please go do so now. The thing to remember though is, this is still early tech, set up in an environment that you know was controlled to make it look perfect. Some hands-on reviews are coming back less than amazed, but I believe that given time and focus, something truly great could be achieved with this. Gears of War Ultimate Edition, a remake of the first game of the series, finally got officially announced, and that's really all they had to say on the subject. They left the actual gameplay for audience goers to go out on the show floor and play for themselves. Now, I appreciate that attitude, but I would have liked to have gotten to see something. Now, from what I've heard in post-show interviews, and from what I've seen in beta videos that are cropping up now, it looks like it is certainly on par with the Halo and Fable anniversary games. Finally, Microsoft decided to close the show by showing off the next Gears of War. I love the Gears of War universe. I mean, it's not a place I would want to live, but damn if it isn't fascinating. Razor Hail, the Riftworm, Azura, all amazing aspects of an amazing universe. And Gears 4 does not disappoint. From the get-go, you can see that this game is an absolute pleasure to behold, much like every other game in this series, and we are immediately introduced to another amazing aspect of this universe. A lightning tornado ripped straight from Mad Max's wet dreams. You get to see the series' trademark dark humor in a short chase scene before we are introduced to what is presumably the game's new enemy force. I don't know if these Cthulhu squid-faced lizard men have anything to do with the Locust, but I am dead interested to find out. Some of the new combat mechanics like takedowns and contextual rescues seem pretty cool, and fun fact, this is one of the few series where executions and takedowns and finishers actually seem at home to me. But if nothing else, this looks like another chainsaw-toting, blood-pumping, high-octane adventure on the world of Sierra, and that's enough to keep me waiting. So what do you have to say about the Microsoft conference? What are you excited about? What are your thoughts on what I had to say? Am I wrong? Am I right? Please discuss it in the comments below, and I will be sure to see you in the next installment. Cut!
Like what you see? Well, why not throw out a like? Want to see more? Click that subscribe button to stay up to date. Got something to say? Well, there's a place for that too. Hate everything about us? Of course you do! It's the internet!
Because I know what you're talking about. Market, whatever.
Wait, you don't know what Coruscant is?
No! I told you I played like Halo 2 like
But
a
it's
little
not in
bit.
Halo, it's in Star Wars.
I told you I'm not like super familiar with Star Wars universe.
It's like
I haven't played any of the game. I've played
it's the
Force
planet they
Unleashed.
spend the most time on in the movies. It's the one that's entirely a city.
Okay, yeah, I do know.
Yeah.
I just didn't know the name. Told you, I was Indiana Jones, man. I wasn't a Star Wars nerd.
Well,
sorry.
People complain about getting the prequels. At least we didn't get Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Yeah, fuck you. All right, mark it.